Welcome back to our Nuxeo University course on Content Type Model. In this video, you will learn how to use schemas for property storage. Once your document types have been created, you will likely wish to define the properties they should store. This is what schemas are meant for. Schemas store specific properties according to the selected document type. Schemas are property blocks. You can add as many schemas as you want to a document type, and they can be reused for any number of document types as well. When you create a document type in Nuxeo Studio, you need to choose from which document type you will inherit. This means inheriting the parent schemas, among other things. The Dublin Core, Common, and UID schemas will always be there, as they contain basic information needed by the Nuxeo platform. The Dublin Core schema gathers general information such as title, description, creation, and modification dates. The UID schema stores the document's version number, as well as a UID property, which is purposefully left blank. This is intended so that you can store your own document ID along with the one automatically created by the Nuxeo platform. If your document type inherits from the file document type, as is the case for the claim document type here, you will also see the file and files schemas. The files schema's purpose is to store the document's main file, while the files schema is there to store additional attachments you wish to include with your document. These schemas can be used as a base. You will likely need to add your own as well. This is the reason why a schema has automatically been added and attached to your document type by Studio upon the document type creation. You can go to the Schema tab in your document type to have a look at it. Every schema has an ID and a prefix. Both should be unique. You can see here that the schema is named after the document type's ID. Documents inheriting from this document type will also inherit the schema. Every property will need to have a name and a generic type. You can use the same property name in different schemas, as the actual property ID is what is called its XPath. An XPath is composed of the document's prefix, a colon sign, and the property name. A property has a field type. Let's have a look at it. Notice there are common field types such as string, integer, directory, dates, etc. You can define a property to store a file with a blob value. Complex property fields are meant to store information composed of several elements that do not make much sense if they are used individually, like the details of an address, for instance. When you have to bind a property to a list of values, use the directory type. Directories are related to vocabularies, which will be covered in the next video. The user/group property allows you to reference a property to a particular user or group. A property can be multi-valued if needed and can have a default value. Finally, for each property, you can define additional configuration and validation rules. You access these options by clicking on the Edit button. As you can see, you can add some constraints to a property. A value can be either optional or required. You can set an expected format on the value based on a regular expression. Nuxeo Studio offers some patterns by default to map an email or a URL. For numeric values, you can restrict the value to an interval. Let's add the properties associated to the claim document type. We'll focus on some particular properties. The claim number is an integer, which should never be empty. The insurer will be a property pointing to a particular user of the insurance claim platform. The claim category is a directory, as the insurance company has already defined the list of possible incidents. The opponent information will be a multi-valued complex property, as we can have one or several people involved in the incident, along with their related information. Notice there is one extremely important field that I didn't add in my schema yet: the policy information. This is because other document types in my application could also take advantage of storing the policy information. To enable easier property sharing between document types, I will therefore create an independent schema that can be shared by all my sales-related document types. In Nuxeo Studio, schemas can be created independently by going into the Content Model, Schemas menu. In this example, I will create a policy schema that uses the same prefix and add the policy expiration and the signed policy file properties to it. Once the schema is saved, it needs to be applied to my document type. Therefore, I need to go back to my Document Type Schema tab and add it from the list. If you wish to discover more about the existing schemas of the Nuxeo platform, take a look at the Nuxeo API Playground. It will connect you to a live repository using the Nuxeo REST API. Here you can browse the data structures and gather information. In the next video, we will present Nuxeo vocabularies.